Celeste Ramirez.
I'm Allison Hart.
And we're presenting the concept for Enigma, which is a 3-layer security system that is powered mainly by biometrics.
Okay, so today security is important in pretty much everything from a personal level, from a business level. Every business has to have some kind of security. And this is shown in the number of cyber attacks that have been occurring over the past several years. In 2010, cyber attacks per week were about 50 on major businesses every week. In 2015, those cyber attacks jumped to 160, and these are successful cyber attacks that went through, not just like any cyber attack, these are successful. And so examples of current security measures would include things such as firewalls. When it comes to accessing a system, it would be something such as fingerprinting, public-private keys, CAPTCHAs, cryptography, and obviously these things aren't exactly making the cut, so we designed something that would go a little bit further and protect a little better than that.
So our objectives with this project are, like as I said before, making a security system that's based on biometrics, because biometrics are so, they're specific to a person, so it's very difficult to fool those systems once they're done right. So our 3-layer system is going to be dependent on gesture, retinal scanning, and we'll have a virtual reality aspect.
Okay, so the methods we chose, we're going to lay groundwork for the user interface actually with the system and find an encryption algorithm that would protect all of the system and the data. We want to prototype the VR headset, which is the last element of it, with gesture recognition and retinal scan sensors. And then we want to produce some kind of gesture recognition, retinal scanning software, and then employ this in a series of security tests so that we know that it can withstand a certain level of penetration.
So the first level would be gesture. The VR headset will actually have a small camera in the front of it, and that camera would be able to pick up and read the angle, the depth, the position of the hand in front of it, and that would allow for, on the actual virtual reality headset, for you to do a type of gesture that would be specific to you. So you would record this gesture, say in the initial setup, and then that would be your passcode. Alternatively, we thought if that was not going to work, or if we ran into trouble with that, we could also use something similar to like the lock screen on an iPhone or on an Android phone, but have it in a virtual reality, so you would actually trail it along with your hand in front of the VR headset.
And the second level would be a retina scan. This would have a built-in scanner within the VR headset. This actually protects against environmental errors such as lighting. It would protect against any malicious use, such as anyone trying to fool the retina scanner if they wanted to access it. And retina scanning is actually one of the most secure examples of biometric security. It is so difficult to replicate, to in any way fool a retina scanner. So this is probably the most secure layer and also biometric, so it can't be replicated.
So the last level would be the true virtual reality aspect. We would have a 3D pyramid, and this pyramid, again using the gesture camera, would read the hands of the user, and you would rotate and flip this pyramid in a certain pattern, and that would be your passphrase. We would integrate, say, like colored sides of the pyramid for those who are better used to using colored patterns to remember the different rotations, or perhaps numbers for people who would find it easier to remember that.
And our target audience would be institutions that have specific divisions of labor hierarchies, so maybe a corporate officer who's higher ranked up in the company would use this rather than someone who just does cubicle work. Project managers, those who have sensitive projects, all those who are working on a team would be using this specific sensitive information.
or future considerations for this project, because this assumes that there's no outside network connection. That removes most of the threat from internet-based hacking efforts. So this is going to be employed on-site. It's going to have a physical headset and system all in say one room, and that would be your access point. But for the future, we would think about allowing for access at multiple sites. Maybe a company has more than one location they want to use the same security system at. And if we were to do that, we would potentially add support for location recognition or geotagging. And our references.
All right. Okay, questions, guys? Any questions? Seems like you are designing a minority report. All of that. Okay, that's very exciting. So you're suggesting most of this would be for corporate managers and all that, but I was thinking one of the probably very good application for this is when you do biometrics, when you go to the immigration office, where it's like it takes forever to actually get your fingerprint and all of that, you know? And so if we have that in a room, you know, and just go there, and sometimes it takes all of the 10 fingers, takes forever. Yeah, this doesn't read good, you know, maybe this is a good. But how long is the program? How long is it going to take to be able to get those layers? Actually,
yeah, it would be a considerable amount of time. There are multiple, you saw all the different levels of software we'd have to create. The actual virtual reality aspect, once we had an engine for it, I don't think it would be very difficult, but it's making sure that the encryption is there so that it's not just for show. You actually can't get into the system, you know, and so that's going to be the real challenge, is making sure that the data is actually secure.
And by the end, we hope to have some kind of model to demonstrate in a virtual reality setting that you can maybe use, or at least demonstrate how it works.
cool. At what level? The first level or the pyramid?
It would be
pyramid?
the pyramid,
Like
yeah.
that thing? Okay,
Yeah.
that would be exciting. I want to do that. Promise me, I want to do that little thingy. 'Cause that's exciting. Okay, any other questions? None? Wow, this is, oh, okay, Nate.
So how would you go about getting your whatever information you want to store on the, I guess, the VR? How would you go about getting that on there since there's no outside sources?
This is just an access point. So once you are granted access through the VR, then you would be allowed into whatever workstation you had your information on. Yes.
Are you sure that all the components that you would need, like the computer to recognize the retina scan, the actual retina scan, and the camera and everything in there, are you sure it's going to all fit on the headset?
The
Or-
sensors we're pretty confident the sensors would fit in the headset. There would be, because it's on site, there would of course be a way to take that information and put it onto like the secure server, or be able to access. There would be communication between the headset and the server. Yes?
This is specifically referring to the first level and the third level. How will they differ from one person from another?
The for the third level, whatever your pattern is, the pattern that you change the sides.
Yes, but what if somebody, sorry to interrupt, but
That's
what
okay.
if somebody were to remember what movement you chose and use that?
That's
as well?
why if you move it twice, you know, if you're right, it's possible. However, for it to be mostly secure, it would hopefully just be one person and the admin, or one person in the room at a time. That would be one consideration we'd have to take, but I don't think that you could predict where the pyramid is just based on.
If you're just looking at somebody, you probably can't tell what's going on exactly in the headset from there.
Also, you could probably introduce a randomizer so that the pyramid starts in a different position for every user.
Yeah.
But the question, I think the question was, what if you forget? Is that your question?
Well, no, my question was on like how does it differ? Say from like say if you had like a corporate spy in the same room, something like that. I don't know, something logical, something. Yeah. Anyways, like how would that system say like you did 2 swipes to the left? Yes. Like what if that person, the spy, would to mimic that
Just a
same.
video of you while you're doing your.
Yeah, pretty
thing.
much, and like
That's
recopy
true.
that when hacking into the system because all they would just need is just
And I mean,
be there.
every security system is susceptible to social engineering. I mean, so far anyway. But are we, is our time up? or-
We can have one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we have.
Does most of this already exist?
What's that?
Does most of this already exist?
It does already exist within our system, like retina scanning exists, but this puts it together. Nobody's really made a, as far as I know, a headset with VR with a sensor base for this. So this pretty much takes all the elements, puts them together, and then for what we would do, we would write individual software for our product so that it is unique to what we're doing.
Which is a good part, because actually the individual parts are available, which means you're not starting from scratch, but you're just putting it together. That's a good idea. All right, very good.